tell you something about Ben Simmons that I've said earlier in this video, and I've known for years. He came into the league and he think he the shit. He came into the league without a jump shot and thought he was fucking certified. So let me tell you how uncertified the nigga is. You know what, guys? Seriously, I don't have it within myself to make up this, hey guys, how you doing? What's good, guys? It's your boy T. I don't have it in me, bro. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that's really serious to me. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know that, and that's not me saying most of you guys in the sense that I'm some clouded ass YouTuber. I've been at 20K, 21K for a long ass time, and 70% of my views are those subscribers. At this point, I ain't growing shit, but we got a gang going on, but I do it for you niggas anyway. In fact, new niggas, don't push that sub button and don't push that like button, you bitch ass nigga. Sign not do what you want to do, but L promo aside and shit, in this video, I'm gonna go on somebody. Pretty obvious who that person is. And I'm gonna get a little, drastic. Let's just leave it at that, okay? I'm giving you a fair warning right now. I know how niggas got down on the Paul George video. I know how niggas got down on the Clippers video. In my perfect example, I know how niggas still get down on the Kyle Kuzma video. He's trash! But as you may be able to tell right now, I'm not playing with this boy Benjamin. So if you can't take any criticism of your favorite player, just get the fuck, bruh. Cause I'ma say some shit that's factual, but it's gonna hurt your feelings, dog. So just get the fuck. That goes for the Philly fans that somehow still like them, but in all fairness, I don't think that exists. And it especially goes to those niggas who just offend every fucking body who was trash. A motherfucker shoots 0-19. Oh, well, it was actually the coach. So shut your ass up. You don't get a higher moral standard for that. You just get a new level of stupidity. You're a Hall of Fame dumbass. The hell up. But with all this being said, I'm not gonna prolong it any further. You've been warned. Let's get right to it, bro. The process has failed. In my personal opinion, the second Sam Hinkie was fired or forcefully resigned, however that shit broke down, but the second that man was no longer calling the shots, I knew it was not going to be for the better. Because you had a franchise so 10 toes into tanking that at that point in time, you kind of had to complete the process, funny enough. And randomly halting that for guys like JJ Redick and Tobias Harris, who yes, are still good players, but that's not exactly what the process was supposed to be. To put it in casual terms, because the point of this video is not to break down what the process was, but the agenda was to essentially lose on purpose and acquire superstar talent through the draft. That way you're not overpaying individuals. By virtue alone, you're acquiring assets to then push your chips to the table whenever you feel that time is right, aka young players and draft picks. But the most important part, at least to me personally, is that the superstar talent you do acquire was through the draft, meaning they're relatively young. Chemistry shouldn't be an issue because they came into the league playing with each other, and this is supposed to be the start of a dynasty. However, even though that process was interrupted, after Simmons and Embiid had established themselves as star talents in the league, combining that with the fact that Tobias Harris was still a really solid player, and Philly not only had a stint of having arguably the best starting five, but then in all fairness, transitioning to being one of the more deeper defensive teams in the league as well, it was pretty evident that, hey, the process was interrupted a bit early. Who knows what could have happened? But you got Simmons and Embiid, man. The process worked. And this influence was felt not only through fan bases, but through other organizations. Teams were adapting the ideology of, hey, we could get our own Simmons and Embiid. Hell, we tanked the right way. We could low-key get away with a couple more years of tanking. We could be better than the Simmons and Embiid Philadelphia 76ers. And by the way, I know I went on that tangent for a little bit longer than I wanted to, but this isn't a fuck tanking video or anything. There may be some teams out there that still believe tanking is the right way to do it and trust their own process. But in regards to the Philadelphia 76ers, one thing became painfully obvious. Tanking sounds great. It sounds amazing until you have to go out there and get your ass a W. And when it's time to go out there and get that W, that's when you really know what the fuck you got. Because 4 years ago, 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, we weren't even thinking some of these things that we thinking about Ben Simmons. And I'm gonna get on his ass in a minute. I'm not clickbaiting you motherfuckers. I'm gonna get on his ass in a good minute. I just want you guys to relive what you thought of Ben Simmons though. A jump shot away from LeBron James. Giannis 2.0 one day. The no difficulty, no brainer best available player in the 2016 NBA draft. Or over guys like Brandon Ingram and Jaylen Brown. And with Joel Embiid, they may become the best dynamic duo not of the generation, but arguably ever. That last one, I know some of you may have never thought that, but trust me, it was certainly a thing. And I think it's fair to say at this point in time, disappointment isn't even the word. After trusting the process a little bit longer, in the 2017-18 season, the Philadelphia 76ers finally made the playoffs. They had finished the season as a 3 seed and they dispatched the Miami Heat in 5 games, where the dynamic duo actually looked pretty good, at least for their standards at the time, obviously reflecting now. You get it. In fact, for Ben Simmons, it was amazing. In the first 2 games without Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons averaged 21 points on 50% shooting, and he had an 11 assist to 3.5 turnover ratio. However, what happens next was my first red flag about the Philadelphia 76ers and that dynamic duo, because they then run into the Boston Celtics, a team led by their own relatively young duo in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. In fact, it was a younger duo. I know Brown and Ben are damn near the same age, but Joel Embiid, let alone Ben Simmons, were both older and more experienced than Jason Tatum. It was his rookie year! And when literally both of them struggled against that Boston Celtics team, and in my opinion, getting solo squatted by Al Horford's leadership and defense, I was called a hater for it at the time, but my personal take was, damn, they just lost to a younger duo, and their whole thing was about just jumping out of the gun from tanking to being a super team. And sure, that was Brett Brown versus Brad Stevens on crack at the time. Sure, you could say the Celtics were just the better team, but going out in 5 games and both of them playing as bad as they did, especially comparing it to the Miami series, I was a little skeptical, but after all, it was their first playoff experience. I'm not gonna lie to you guys on some I told you shit. I wasn't 10 toes on the take. I said, fuck it, we'll see what they do next season. And the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Worst come to worst, Markelle Fultz is on the way. He was playing with one arm the whole fucking season. At some point, he gonna get right. Well,
I blame Stephen A. Smith.
What?
And by the way,
me? This brother plays just 4 games for the Sixers. He shot 33% from the field, 50% from the free throw line, scared to shoot jump shots, didn't even attempt the three-pointer, and they sat him down. Why? Some trainer by the name of Keith Williams has been accused of changing this dude's shot.
yeah, more videos about Markelle's free throw and jump shot being broken just kept coming out, so Markelle Fultz saving the Sixers was out of question. However, that didn't create an excuse for these niggas. Oh my god, every other day it was Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons. Even though that debate got pretty fucking annoying and today we damn know what the answer is, it came out of good conscience that hey, they're both on the same team and they're both gonna be amazing MVP caliber players one day. But even in those debates, let alone how good will Philly be overall, it definitely was the start of, oh man, don't let Ben get a jump shot. But those are just narratives, let's get to the facts. Fast forward to the 2019 playoffs, and yet again, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid had a dominant first round performance. And it was at this point in time, and sorry to go back on one more narrative, but considering that roster in 2019, the narrative was, yeah, Philly has the best starting 5 in basketball. And after yet again a dominant performance in the first round from their duo, let alone the rest of their team, Philly might win the title. Then they ran into Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors, who, yes, although they did become the champions, in my opinion, this is when that red flag became crimson. Because no matter which way you slice it, struggling against serious contenders consistently is a problem, and that definitely applied to Joel Embiid. And unfortunately, with Embiid's struggles in this series, and granted he was pretty shitter, but all that ended up doing for Ben Simmons was somehow raise his stock for people. Team Simmons was on a tear. They were like, yeah, see, I told you he was better than Joel. But we really just sat there and acted like this man didn't average 11 points in the second round. A guy talked about to one day be the best player in the league and an MVP. I'd be a fool if I said nobody called it out. Some people definitely called it out. But for a lot of people, it was like, okay, Ben Simmons isn't a scorer, bro. He doesn't have that jump shot yet. Wait until he gets it. And he still shot 60% from the field. Kawhi just made a lucky shot, bro. The 76ers just ran into the better, deeper team, and of course they did this. He's young, give him time. And although I wasn't on YouTube at the time, I'm definitely still a basketball fan. I didn't just start watching basketball last year, whether it was at school, group chats, or just logging on to Twitter. It was pretty annoying to hear these takes because I was like, y'all don't see what's going on. This dude is like a coward. Only Boston Celtics fans were really calling this man a coward, and as toxic as it sounded, nah, bro, for real, the boy didn't want to score. And another thing before I move on to the next season, I definitely sat there and I started to think this as well. He looks like the exact same guy from last season, doesn't he? But I digress again. Maybe I'm just hating. Let me give him another year. In that next season, unfortunately, we did not see Ben Simmons make the postseason. He did get injured. But even with that, I'm sitting there like, yo, he looks like the same exact guy again. Like, I always thought he was pretty arrogant and thought he was the shit when he came into the league. But damn, I mean, he was just slightly more more efficient than he was last season. And for real, I just credit that to experience and him having an NBA body more so than anything else. And also at this point in time, I'm like, yeah, it's not Simmons and Embiid anymore. People tried to drag that out for as long as they could, but this is Joel Embiid's team. People be going on Joel Embiid's performance against Boston in the bubble, and honestly don't know why. Yes, his field goal percentage wasn't as high as you'd like it to be, but he gave you 30 and 12, being the obvious #1 option of the team. Yes, Boston didn't have their interior defense to the level they'd like, but I think that was a really harsh standard people had for Joel that season. I don't know, maybe I'm some low-key Embiid stan, but I thought it was pretty unfair for that standard. But regardless, let's fast forward to what we saw this year. One thing I haven't talked about, and that's because it became prominent this season, was Ben Simmons' growth on defense. If there's one thing I had to chalk up every season, I was like, okay, he's getting a little bit better at defense. This season, though, I understand he was already a solid defender previous years. He made a pretty drastic leap in his defense this season. Not only was he a versatile defender, go ask Utah Jazz fans how important that is, but honestly, on the perimeter, he was pretty shut down. And even though he was injured in the first year he was drafted, with now damn near 5 years of NBA experience, oh yeah, and one more thing, Super Embiid's on the team now. GG Team Simmons, Embiid in 5, god damn. Arguably the MVP before he got injured, and when he came back, even though you had to give it to Jokic, he was still on timing. And let me take it a step further with guys like Tobias Harris and even Seth Curry to a degree, along with guys like Danny Green, Matisse Thybulle. All Ben Simmons had to do was be the guy that could orchestrate the offense, be the same defender that he was throughout the regular season, and honestly, just don't fuck up. Embiid's the guy. We're gonna look at Embiid if this team falls short to a degree. Just don't be a fuck up. Don't let it be your fault. It's also easy to smoke Rivers, Pat, and Tobias Harris is a better scorer than you. Hell, Seth Curry's a better scorer than you. At this point, people accept that you're just not that guy when it comes to scoring the basketball. People also accept you don't shoot the ball anymore. It's frustrating, but true. We're not expecting Ben to go out here and average 30 on crazy efficiencies. Just orchestrate the offense. And Ben, I'm gonna make things even a bit easier for you. We're gonna give you the easiest path to the Eastern Conference Finals possible, playing the worst seeded team that comes out of the play-in, and the winner of a matchup of two teams that honestly, coming into the season, it was arguable neither should have made the playoffs to begin with. The Knicks being a defensive team that can't score for shit, and the Hawks being led by Trae Young, who, yes, is a phenomenal player, but bro is barely 6 feet. You're damn near a foot taller than him, and you're a defensive stud. So now, for sure, with the matchups coming to you, for sure, with the teammates around you, for sure, with home court advantage in every series you'll play in the East, and with all the lowered expectations we have of you at this point in time, finally, certainly, with no doubt, Philadelphia will make it to the Eastern Conference Finals at bare minimum. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do that either. He could not do it. It makes no sense he couldn't do it. Actually, that's some bullshit. Now let me get on his ass. Let me tell you something about Ben Simmons that I've said earlier in this video, and I've known for years. He came into the league and he didn't think he the shit. He came into the league without a jump shot and thought he was fucking certified. So let me tell you how uncertified the nigga is. And I blame myself to a degree, because even people who are Team Embiid, or people like myself who said, yeah, he can't score, but he's pretty good at damn near everything else. We absolved the many flaws of Ben Simmons and therefore ranked him high as fuck, because we ain't want to sound weird. We didn't want to be that guy that goes that far. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I'm gonna tell you now, niggas like John Morant, De'Aaron Fox, and I'ma go that far, even a nigga like Lonzo motherfucking Ball. I'm taking 10 out of 10 over Ben Simmons. Why? Because you can't have a guy who not only can't, but literally won't shoot the basketball. But fuck shooting, he won't score the basketball. It's so bad, niggas is dropping the RDC World memes. It was a whole fucking skit, but holy shit, it literally looks like Ben Simmons is one of them niggas. And speaking of YouTubers, fuck it, bro, he can take a page out of Flight playbook. One thing about Flight, he may be some shit, he gonna shoot that motherfucker. This man Ben has a disingenuous jump shot and think he the shit. Shut the fuck up, nigga. He said that bullshit out of the game.
What is it in your game that you think you need to improve first?
Offensively, I wasn't there. I ain't doing enough for my teammates. There's a lot of things I need to work on.
But you gave up a dunk opportunity right there, and I know you're a pass-first guy, but you're also 6'10" and 240. Is there something going on in your head where you just feel like you can't shoot at some time?
Nah, I just assumed Gallo was coming over my back, and then Collins moved out. man. So I thought we just had a wide open dunk.
Shut the fuck up, nigga!
Oh, but Sage, aren't you going a little too far now? He's still a really good I ain't see it. He's still a really good decision man. I ain't see it. Okay, but he's a really good passer though.
Oh, I know he passed that ball. But being a really good passer does factor decision making. Having the latent ability but then spamming it all the time in situations where you don't need to pass the ball kind of lowers your value as a passer, let alone playmaker. And before I talk about the obvious, let me talk about one more fucking thing that I know niggas gonna comment.
Oh, but Sid, yeah, I'm in your top 20 video.
Listen here, motherfucker. No shit. Despite his many weaknesses, I gave him a lot of credit for what he's good at as an all-around talent. If you just want a I was wrong moment, there you fucking go. By all means, go ahead, run with it. But the way I view it, dog. The evidence changed drastically, bro. What we just saw was unacceptable on so many different degrees. And for those of you that are about to sit there, cap, and defend Ben Simmons, blame it all on Rivers, the role players, or for some of you, somehow you're about to pin this on Joel Embiid. I'ma just ask you one thing. 4 years ago, if I could fucking time travel when I told you, hey, 4 years from now, Ben Simmons in the biggest game of his career, 100% healthy, is going to put up 4 shots and in the game with 5 points, you'd think he's a bust. And anyone who's about to comment, no, I wouldn't think that. Guys, I show you a liar right there. Now let's talk about one more thing regarding Ben Simmons. It's not a secret. He will not be a Philadelphia 76er next season. The fans can't stand him. The organization fed up with him. Joel Embiid's tired of his shit. And Doc Rivers, who may not be a coach there any fucking way, he was some shit too, but it's not about him, couldn't even cap and be like, yeah, we can build a championship contender with Ben Simmons at the point guard. And actually, nah, I will speak on Doc for a split second. He gets a lot of shit, fair enough. He got out coached in game 7, fair enough. One thing I'm gonna actually give Doc some credit for, he had to coach around knowing the fact that Ben Simmons was a liability in this series. Think about some of the adjustments he had to make, dog. His second best player on the team couldn't be on the floor if the team is down too much and needs instant offense. Having to go to absurd levels of clock management and timeout management because your second best player, shit, maybe even third, but at least your third best player, your point guard, could not be on the floor late in the game because he can't hit a free throw and won't score the ball. He's certainly not absolved of criticism at all, but I feel like he's being a bit overly criticized because we all know Ben Simmons was trash. Fuck trash, he wasn't even just trash, he was toxic. But anyway, in terms of trading Ben Simmons, who the fuck want him? I don't watch First Take as often as I used to, but some gave me the whim to watch First Take today. And to see Stephen A talk about how the Blazers don't want Ben anymore, people talking about Ben for CJ type shit, and Stephen A saying there's people in Portland like, what? No, I'm good, bro. Keep him over there. Remember when we used to talk about Ben for Dame? Or how he legitimately could have went for James Harden? Man, what the fuck is we talking about now, bro? That value is shot, and maybe you Benjamin Simmons stands can finally see it. You coward stands can finally see it. No matter how great you think that nigga is, the world don't value him like that, bro. It's just that simple. And rightfully so, nigga, you're weird. Like, does anyone in Portland want Ben for CJ anymore? No, not really. Not even just the organization. I know Stephen A isn't the most credible source, but damn, fans, do you want CJ for Ben? I don't think so. Speaking of fans, and I'm gonna end with this, that's the worst part about trading Ben Simmons. It's not even just from a talent perspective, bro. You gotta consider what market he goes to now. The Knicks need a point guard bad. The Knicks love playing defense. Ben Simmons fits that moniker. He would get killed in New York. Then he need the ball in his hands to be effective, because what you gonna have Ben do? Walk around, get rebounds, and play defense? For that contract? Okay, what you gonna give up? Exactly, I don't fucking know. So I don't even have an answer of where Ben goes, because no fan base wants him. I don't know a team that needs him. And as of right now, I'm not gonna hold you. This was the Harden narrative. Somehow it really belongs to Ben Simmons. I don't think he could play with a superstar. To optimize Ben Simmons, he needs the ball in his hand, but you know he'll never be that scorer. Because we've seen with guys like Kevin Durant and Paul George even, these superstar talents can pass the ball, no shit. So I don't see this superstar talent that you want to take the ball out of their hands to let Ben Simmons run your offense. And as I said earlier, if you prefer the superstar to have the ball in their hands, cool. What the fuck Ben gonna do off ball? Cry and pump fake? Yeah, his little bitch ass ain't gonna do shit. So in my personal opinion, there's only one trade scenario that makes sense for Ben, and it's pretty open as to whatever team wants to do it. Send Ben to a team that has no shot of going to the playoffs, and that organization has to be willing to look at Ben and be like, hey, bro, look, you are not a championship caliber player. We're working on you. We're working on this scoring mentality that you don't have. And god damn it, bro, you're shooting mid-ranges. Because enough is enough. Ben Simmons, you are not that guy. And sometimes in life, let alone basketball, it takes reality to smack some shit into you and for shit to blow up in your face to let you know your shortcomings. I hope this is that time for Ben Simmons, because otherwise, dog, I don't know what the fuck niggas gonna do with you, bro. But that's gonna do it for today's video. It's been your boy TSO Sage. Niggas don't be pushing that sub button and like button for real, but hey, push that shit if you fuck with me. If you don't, and fuck you. All that being said, I'ma holla at y'all niggas later. Take care and stay blessed. And hey, Ben, shoot the fucking ball, nigga.